Hi, how you doing? Just want to do a quick piece about what I think is one of the biggest myths in English football. Basically, the myth that most people, if not all, people in Manchester support City and nobody supports United. Uh, the myth's been going around for a couple of decades now. Probably started off as a bit of a joke, but seems to have gained credence for one reason or another, through television, through other things, through City fans parroting about like they do, blatant lies. So, to start off, what is a myth? Well, a myth is something that, although widely believed to be true, isn't true. So this myth in particular, it goes along the lines that nobody, although Manchester United, one of the most successful clubs in the world, doesn't have any fans in its own town. So that comes across as bizarre in the first place on first listening. By the way, I am a United fan. I am from Manchester. So this myth isn't unusual in cities that have got two clubs. Uh, in Torino, you've got Juventus, and in Turin, you've got Torino and Juventus. Torino claim to be the local club, whereas Juventus's fans come from everywhere else. That's the myth. The myth there. 1860 Munich do it against Bayern. I have heard Birmingham City fans label it against Villa. I've even heard Everton fans label it against Liverpool. So you get the picture that the smaller club or the lesser successful club in a city tries to claim that they hold the true local support. I mean, obviously, in any sport, the more successful you get, you're going to get fans outside your own town. If you're a music band and you start off in Sheffield, you're not going to get people coming up from everywhere to watch you. Once you get established, and then the more famous you get, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go on attendances at Manchester United and Manchester City. So after the war, late 40s, 50s and upwards, United have always had higher attendances than City, sometimes by quite a lot, sometimes by not so quite a lot, but it's always been higher. If you don't believe this, you can check it out yourself. So I don't think people were coming from London, Ireland, Singapore and China to come and watch United in the 50s. So that sort of blows it away a bit. Uh, of course, United, as I said before, have got fans from elsewhere. They get 70 odd thousand. People do come from everywhere to see United. It's like any big franchise sporting thing gets fans from everywhere. New York Yankees, baseball, all sorts of stuff. But what's being attacked here is the fact that people are trying to say nobody in Manchester supports United, which is absolutely rubbish. If you've ever lived in the Manchester area or the surrounding suburbs, Tameside, Salford, anywhere Oldham, you'll see that this blatantly isn't true. It's just something that is parroted about. I mean, as far as the ground goes, Old Trafford, I mean, fair enough, yeah, it is in Trafford, which is just outside the city centre boundaries, and City's ground is in what is the city of Manchester. But both clubs started off in East Manchester. City is Hardwick, United is Newton Heath. Both Manchester clubs. United moved to Old Trafford, the stadium there in the 1920s. So it's not unusual for clubs of all sports to move slightly outside the city boundaries. It doesn't mean anything. It's got no significance. As the crow flies, Old Trafford was about as far away from the city centre as City's old ground was. Main Road, where they are now, the Eastlands or Wastelands as it's better known as, is probably a little bit closer. I mean, a lot of people label it United as well because you get people like Noel Gallagher and other famous people from Manchester, Ricky Hatton, having jibes. But make no mistake, United have had as many famous Mancunians fans from the area as they have. I'm talking about people like Ian Brown, Sean Ryder, Happy Mondays, Stone Roses, lots of others, Tim Burgess, Charlton's, all United fans. So why is this done? Why is this myth spread? I don't know. It probably started off as a wind up, but then as United become more successful in the 90s, it was something that was believed. You know, a lot of people didn't like United. They looked for ways to destroy them. They couldn't destroy them on the pitch because obviously the United's record has spoke for itself in the last 20 odd years. So they looked for other ways to try and take jibes at the club, so on and so forth.